So I am a quarter of the way in with some of the podcast episodes that I had planned out for this summer, where I am doing this experiment, I would call it, of leading through every season of life. And this summer, I just decided that I wanted to come back in a different way, that I had spent so much time. I spent all of pretty much spring without a podcast episode, without coming and showing up. And I was thinking a lot about what that looked like. And so in this episode today, I just want to share, how's it going? How's the experiment going with me and my podcast and some of the other things in my business? And just let you get a little view in of how I'm leading my business in this season of life. Welcome back to Leadership Beyond the Title podcast. This summer, I am talking about leading in every season of life, where I am bringing you a new episode every Wednesday. And I'm just exploring stories, my stories, the stories of my clients, and how we are showing up and becoming leaders in this day and age. And so if you haven't watched or haven't tuned in to any of the episodes before this, go back, listen to them. You're in for a treat. Now, let's get into this episode. So I just wanted to come before you because I'm sure a lot of you are saying to yourself, what's going on with Tashina? I transparently have not shown up a lot on social spaces. So when I say social spaces, I mean the Instagram, the TikToks, the LinkedIn's, and I've spent more of my time focusing on my podcast and my Substack newsletters. And I wanted to share that a part of doing that was because I am learning how to really show up in the right way, which is my way. There's no really right or wrong way. But I really want to show up in a way that was different than I had been before. And I'm experimenting with long form content. Well, the reality is I'm still not showing up completely as I want to. But again, this is an experiment. I've only done, I think, 4 other episodes before this, or this may be the 4th. I'm not keeping count, as you can see. And I have done Substack newsletters every week, and I am still not showing up the way that I want to. But I have a lot of things that I am learning and a lot of things that I am thinking about doing going forward for the rest of the summer. And I think that this will help you, especially as you become a new leader, as you start to experiment, whether it's in your business or in your career, on what works, what doesn't work, and what a good experiment actually looks like. And I want to be forthcoming. I want to be honest about some of the things that I'm not doing, some of the things that I am doing. And working in public is cringy. It's uncomfortable, but I feel like this is a part of that becoming a better speaker, becoming a better podcaster, becoming a better writer, not focusing or using AI for everything. Please no, don't do that. But really finding my voice again after I had for so long felt like I needed to copy, that I needed to create like other people created, and instead really learning myself and what matters most to me. So here's what I'm learning. Now, the first thing is I am realizing to myself that I have always experimented in every part of my life. When I think back to earlier in my career, when I would raise my hand all the time and I would say things like, I'll do it or I'll try it out. Typically, these were things that were brand new. I didn't have the skills. I didn't have the connections or the relationships to get it right. And I also didn't have the kind of like the systems thinking that is required for a lot of the projects and things that I hopped on. But I did it. And I did it because I knew that in a way it would grow me. It would help me to learn new skills. It would help me to figure out different parts of myself, what I liked, what I didn't like. And eventually it'll put me in rooms and at tables that I hadn't been at before, so that I can have a different type of influence. And while I am out here trying and just figuring it out all on my own in many ways, I am literally out here in the wild and I'm trying to find something and I'm trying to discover myself and I'm trying to discover my style and I am experimenting. And that feels good to me when I reflect back on how I have come to be successful in every area of my life. It has been through trying things. And so my first kind of learning lesson and thing that I would share with you is in your career or in your life, it's okay to try different things out. It's okay to try and see what works or what doesn't work. And yes, it's going to be cringy. Yes, it's not going to feel good. But I guarantee you, when you get to the other side, you'll be so grateful that you took that step, that you dipped your toe in that water. Because although I don't know everything yet, and I don't have a finalized style, and I'm still in the midst of experimentation, it feels good of what I'm learning so far, which is one, you can always try something out and you can experiment. The second thing that I'm learning more how to do is sharing my story, sharing my voice often, and just putting it out there. Now, I will be honest with you. I'm not the most put myself out there to my own horn type of person. As an introvert, I feel like that's just over the top. It's too much work. And quite honestly, like it's not humble like I want it to be. Because, they say, Kendrick Lamar says, be humble, right? And so literally, I feel like sometimes that I don't want to do that. One, because I don't want the spotlight on me. I don't want to be judged. I don't want people to get the wrong impression of me. But I'm coming to find out that actually people do want to see you work in public. People do want to see what you're doing and they want you to share your life. And so I'm learning different ways to do that. Of course, you all see my children, you see some of my coaching work that I do, but I don't always share what I am experiencing, my own personal stories. And sometimes I don't even share my clients' stories because I hold a true confidential line and boundaries with that. I really believe in confidentiality. And so I'm not going to put everything out there. But I'm learning there are ways to talk about the stories without sharing who the person is. And so the thing for me is like, I have to be willing to share. I have to be willing to let people behind the curtain to see what I'm learning, to know that I'm not showing up in perfection all the time. I'm working at it. I'm trying things out. And so many of us, we try to be perfect when we walk into rooms, when we go into organizations. And some current research that I read was that people actually don't trust the person who's always perfect. They trust the person who's willing to be open, to have courage. If you don't know, courage literally is a Latin word that means throwing your heart over the fence. And so you can imagine like you're just throwing your heart over there for the world to see out of your body and see what happens. It's cringy. It's uncomfortable. But it's something that you have to do if you're growing because you're going to have to talk about your failures, your weaknesses, your strengths. You're going to have to show people what you're interested in, what you can do, what you can't do. You're going to have to ask people for help. And that is one of the things that I always struggled with because I always thought like if I ask people to help me, I'm sharing my weakness, one. But two, if I'm asking them to help me, I'm sharing them where my mindset is at and what I want to do. And I'm wondering if they're going to copy me and get there before I do. And so I've had to learn this lesson really, really like lots of time meditating, reflecting, journaling on nobody's out to take your stuff. And even if they do try to take your stuff, they can't do it like you, right? My husband always tells me people can copy you, but they don't have your flavor. They don't have your style. They can't do it the way you do it. And so as I'm learning and I'm experimenting with this thing, I'm learning different techniques, different ways to do different things, and that I have to be willing to share that because who knows what may happen? Who knows who may step in and say, hey, do it like this, or hey, do you know you could do this? Or hey, did you know that this person um, can get you the resources for whatever it is? Or like back in the day when I became a coach, like seeing that, putting that certificate in the wall, somebody came up to me and said, hey, did you know that there's a new coaching function or department and you could be a coach in the organization? That would have never happened if I never showed what I was doing. And so I encourage you, if you are new in some type of capacity, new in role, if you're new to trying things out, show people what you're doing. And even if you're not new, maybe you're new to doing that thing. Maybe the project that you're on is new. Be willing to share what you are doing. And the last thing that I'm learning is follow your gut. There are so many things that I see out on the internet, and I did not follow my gut. And they were like ideas that I had long time ago, and I didn't act on them. One, because I thought it had to be perfect. Two, maybe I didn't feel I was equipped, or I didn't have the resources, or I wasn't going to do it right, or I was going to study more. If you know me, you know I'm a learner. I'm going to study, 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 study. And so sometimes I find myself over studying and over trying to learn something instead of just putting it out and learning as I go, like flying the plane while I build it. And I've had to learn that that is not always the most appropriate thing. And so, this has been a journey for me. It's only been a couple of weeks, of course. It's only been 4 weeks, and that's all good. But I want you to know where I am with it right now because I think it's important for you to know that there will be moments that I can't do it all. I can't show up on all the social channels and the podcasts and the Substacks. I can't do it all. I've been wanting to go live and do different live things like I did before on LinkedIn, and I haven't been able to do that because I'm still trying to find my coach identity. I'm still trying to find out what it is that I want to bring that's unique enough for the market. Now, y'all, I got certifications, I got degrees, I got a lot of different things that I can do. The issue isn't if I can do it. I know I can do it. The issue is I haven't put myself out there enough and I haven't experimented enough. And I'm trying to be too perfect all the time. And so that is something that I am trying to, you know, kind of get over and overcome. I look at my sons a lot and they play sports. So basketball, football. If you know me, you know that's my thing. Sports is my jam, and being a sports mom is everything to me. And I look at them and I realize how many mistakes they make in a game. Like, they make mistakes all the time. But you know what? They make a mistake and then they have to keep on going. You don't stop in the middle of the middle of the game just because you didn't make the basket. You got to keep going. Get your rebound and keep going. And so I'm learning, even in my coach role, even in doing this podcast, I may miss the mark. I may not have as many views or as many comments. But guess what? After I shoot the ball, I'm going to try to get my rebound. I'm gathering myself up together and I'm going to try again. And in the process, there will be people I pass the ball to and they're going to be able to pass it back. That is the way that I am thinking about this because it's not going to be perfect. It's not going to be buttoned up the first time. And so continue to be with me on this journey. I am really trying to find my voice. I'm really trying to learn how to become a better speaker. I think that is most important for me. I am trying to be more clear about what I want to say and really just provide you with the lessons and the growth and the behind the scenes of my business and what I'm doing. Now, I do want to tell you, business is good. Lots of team coaching, lots of individual coaching. I got an email today that said, Tashina, so many light bulbs went off today when we coached together. Thank you so much. And that's all I want to bring. That's all I want to do. And so I hope that you stay with me on this journey. I'm learning, I'm experimenting. Follow me on any of the social channels. Come and follow my Substack, follow my podcast, and just be with me. If ever you want to connect with me, those are the places to go. All right. Talk to you soon. Bye.